So last time in Curse of Strahd, the party did some more exploring of the Amber Temple, trying to recover the since the Sun Sword that was stolen by a vampire, and that vampire subsequently seemed to have disappeared. Um, Venturing into the library, there were a couple of secret doors to be found, the first of which hid a spell-slinging Yugoloth of some kind that was really only talked down from giving one or more of the group a grisly end with the promise of maybe obtaining something interesting from the necromancer type individual who's been seen prowling the temple. In an effort to follow through with that tentative arrangement, the party went through the other secret door that was discovered in the library and walked in on a conversation between said necromancer type, someone that very much resembles what you may have heard described as a lich, and his conversation partner, the dread Lord of Barovia himself, Strahd von Zarovich. After some introductions and a little bit of kind of small talk, for lack of a better term, Yoan requested a private audience with Strahd, which he was granted. And so the rest of the party and the Lich all went back out into the large library, and well, after a bit of conversation, it became pretty apparent that the undead mage that Strahd had been conversing with doesn't really remember a whole lot of, really much of anything beyond his humble little home, the kind of one-room apartment situation that he and Strahd were sitting in, having their conversation. Can't even remember his own name. And with a little bit of magical investigation, the group determined that the only thing that could restore this individual's memory is something on the level of a greater restoration spell. And really, that was about where we left off. So I think we'll pick it up with the secret door sliding open, and Yoan, I suppose, just being visible on the other side. I don't know how you guys want to proceed, but the barrier seems to be down. So if there's a conversation that needs to happen, or if everybody wants to just pile back in the room, that's your call.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pile back in the room.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I mean, I'm in the room, so I
Yeah.
guess everyone will pile in on top of me.
Yep.
All right. You watch the dried out undead mage kind of hobble his way back in as well, and stroll across the room back to the armchair he was sitting in and kick his feet back up on the ottoman, making himself quite at home.
Does Yoan look any different?
Make a perception check.
Alright. There it is.
Nope.
Okay.
And so you all make your way back into the room, and maybe some of you, grab your seats again, spread out kind of around the perimeter of the room on wooden chairs and a love seat and all this other stuff. And I think Strahd just sort of surveys everyone as they file back in and says, well, what might the lot of you be up to besides, well, what your friend and I discussed?
Exploring the temple.
And he looks at Greg and says, I'm not sure I got your name. Who are you?
I look at everyone amongst the group and I ponder for a second, and then I'll say aloud, I guess it's about time to reveal my real name. And I say my name is Gorgoth Granite Breaker.
One of the folks of the wild, then.
Yes, I've been living in these mountains for a while.
Are you of dwarven descent by any chance?
Apart from possibly looking like he could eat a dwarf.
Hey, that's... The name is what sparked me to ask, so...
He ate a dwarf with that name in there and took and absorbed his powers.
That's the Goliath naming convention, don't you know? You are what you eat. He says,
Oh my gosh.
Oh, your
She's
gosh.
snoring so loudly.
but yeah, I think Strahd sort of gives a nod of what you could glean might be respect. But then he sort of turns his attention to everyone else and says, I'm sure you wouldn't be up to anything seditious in here now, would you?
I don't even know what that word means. Why would I be up to anything like that?
What he said.
Wouldn't be seeking to undermine the power structure here in my noble land, would you?
No, I'm just seeing what kind of trouble I can get into.
Very well. As you may have noticed, a few of my children are to be found around these parts. I do hope that you can play nice with them. He gives kind of a knowing look to those of you who are just involved in the combat downstairs.
I play as nice as they do.
They all tried to beat me up first. I had nothing to do with that. They attacked me.
Yeah, they tried to beat him up.
Fair is fair, I suppose, but I think there was a dangerous item that was confiscated in the scuffle, yes?
Dangerous. I was just using that as a convenient light source.
I'm sure. No matter. What does matter is that it will be safely tucked away and removed from the general public. Probably better for everyone.
I don't know. I can't really see without it.
Do you have an ever burning light that we can use?
Trying to bum a flashlight from Strahd.
I mean, he
Yep.
took our source of light.
He says, if the accounts of your deeds thus far are to be believed, I think you can manage on your own. He looks
Aw.
over particularly at Esmeralda, who, has cast light on people before.
I'll arm wrestle for it back.
He looks at you and says, and what need I prove in an arm wrestling match?
I mean, I could just take it. I was gonna be fair.
You're welcome to try.
I look over at the rest of the group.
Just stare blankly at him.
And, yeah, I think he says, I think the two of us both know that the removal of that blade from play is for the greater good. And I think this is about the time that I'm going to ask Greg, or
The greater good.
Gorgoth.
The greater good.
The greater good.
The
Yeah.
greater good.
What could be wrong with the greater good? That's fine.
Yep.
But yeah, so I think I'm going to ask the newly revealed Gorgoth to make a wisdom save.
What am I thinking of when I'm thinking of people just chanting the greater good?
Ooh, that's a good one.
All right. You barely make it. So how do you respond as he says that, and you can feel maybe that suggestion was more than just words.
Sorry, but I have to.
Oh boy.
I fall out my head.
Oh, okay.
You see a quirk of Strahd's eyebrow as he still sits there in the armchair.
I would like to rage.
All right, you do so. Go ahead and paint me a picture of how this is going to go down.
How far away is he?
Well, let's see. If you guys all kind of filed back in the room, let me get some stuff situated here. Throw everybody in. Yoan's probably like a little bit closer than everybody else because conversations and stuff. All right. So yeah, he's probably like 30 to 35 feet away, like accessible.
Alright, I would say, I'll shout out aloud at him. You may have taken a sword, but you'll never take my freedom. And I will go into a rage and charge after him with my axe.
And suddenly this is Braveheart.
Yeah, something like that. So I guess this is the part where I pull everybody back to the map and we roll some initiative. And you guys decide to fight Strahd.
Or not fight Strahd, depending on...
As the case may be, depending on the individual, I suppose. Yeah. So there's that. And I can just roll initiative for everybody. Because badass macros. You're gonna have to roll. Well, I'll roll twice for you, and we'll just take the higher one.
All right.
So boom.
Oh, dang it, you rolled an 18.
Yeah. All right, and then so remember that you got an 8 on this one, and then I'll roll again, and we'll see. I think you'll keep the 15. Okay. So obviously, there's not like a surprise round or really even an inciting action as you're shouting fighting words at Strahd. I mean, I think the inciting action is you shouting fighting words at Strahd. I think Muriel, who is the first to go for some reason, is just gonna draw her short sword and kind of look nervously between you and Strahd, like, oh boy, are we doing this? You know, I don't even think the sword's fully out. I think she's got like her hand on it just in case, but she is waiting until the last second to make it official, so to speak. All right. Dane, what are you doing?
I'll loosen my sword and step back a little bit beside Greg. Just be out of the way.
Your friend's got your back, man. You're good. All right. Cool. Brings us to Strahd. So, I think Strahd is going to do a thing. Let's see here. They lied so blatantly when they said the character sheets would get updated with spells. I'm like having to look up all of his shit now. But it's okay. I have a pretty good idea where I'm going. So I would like another saving throw from our Goliath friend, but let's see what kind it is. All right. Yeah, give me another wisdom save.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. All right. So as as your Goliath friend screams and draws his weapon and prepares to charge across the room at Strahd, you see a strange sensation sweeping across his body. You watch as his flesh begins to kind of ripple and almost become kind of amorphous, and the structure leaves his body as he seems to shrink drastically until standing before you, where once there was a Goliath, you see but a rat.
Do I recognize the spell?
Probably.
Alright. It's polymorph, isn't it?
Yeah. So, just for reference, we'll do that. He just kind of waves his hand, casting that spell, and kind of looks around at the rest of the group, gauging the reaction.
I'm just kind of shaking my head.
All right. Well, it's now your turn. So, what do you do besides shake your head?
I don't do anything. I am going to hold my action if Strahd makes an aggressive movement towards me.
Okay. All right. So then, Ron, what are you doing?
I'm going to. Where is Greg the?
Oh, bear in mind that last session, you did recall what great friends you are with Strahd, and you
Yeah.
know. Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Where in the where is Greg? I can't see him. Oh, okay, Tiny Greg.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Tiny Greg.
All right, I'm gonna walk over and try to pick him up.
Okay.
Just
Does
try-
Greg do anything to resist this?
No, can I even resist this? I'm a little rat.
I mean,
I
you
mean,
could
like-
run away.
Yeah, like technically we could make it a grapple check.
I have the same stats, or my stats of a rat.
Physical stats are that of a rat.
Would I still be raging? I guess that would determine what I do.
Raging rat.
Very angry rat.
I mean, I think yeah, actually. So yeah, you are a raging rat.
I would like to try and squirm out of his fingers.
Okay, then we have a grapple check coming here.
All right, what do you need from me?
I need athletics from Ron, and then I'll pull up a rat.
I'm looking at it. It's so bad.
Well, I got an 18.
Okay, let's see. Rat. Okay, so I think you're gonna want to go with acrobatics because you don't want to use that -4 strength mod. um, so just roll a d20. There's no modifier here.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, Ron, you pretty handily snatch up this rat that's like still kind of clawing at your hand and trying to get out. And what's the effort here? Are you still trying to charge Strahd as a rat?
Just like squirming and wriggling in his hands.
All right. Well,
The furious squeaking.
I'm gonna look at Strahd and say, should I take him out of this form? You think we could talk him down?
Give him a moment to simmer down.
Okay.
Wouldn't want his emotions to jeopardize his well-being.
Okay. I'm gonna give him just a shake and say, "Settle down, you rat bastard." And that'll end my turn.
All right. And what does Rage Rat do?
Would it be a wisdom check to decide further? Or intelligence?
I mean, I think at this point it's just decide what. I mean, you know your character at least to some extent. So, if you're in a rage, and you're a rat, what do you do?
Well, the whole thing that started this was one of my bonds is my freedom is my most precious possession.
Things have gone downhill a bit.
Yeah, so just roll a wisdom check, and if I roll a 10 or higher, I'll calm down.
Okay.
Yay!
Hey, I
Not
took some
really
sense into you.
So the furious tirade of squeaking slowly kind of settles down. There's just a very angry but not violent looking rat now in your hands. And alright, so I guess that's it for Greg or Gorgoth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is
The,
there a reason why, like, I would know that name at all? I mean, I don't know why, but he hid it from us, so. Did I hear anyone mention it ever?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But yeah, so then as the squeaking and clawing kind of calms down, the lich from the armchair, still with his feet up, says, "Control your pets, will you?"
Sorry, sir.
Damn kids. Rictavio is again kind of like the rest of the group, just very nervously watching what's going down here. Like, are we about to fight Strahd? I think he's got a hand on the crook of the sword cane, ready to draw it at a moment's notice. Same for Esmeralda. One hand on, well, both hands each on uh, the hilt of some sort of bladed weapon. But nobody really wants to make the first move outside of what Greg's already done. All right. Again, tense standoff. Muriel's still looking on. Dane, anything you'd like to do here?
Can I ask Ron to see the rat?
I kind of hold him like, what do you have? What do you trade for it?
Want to trade me for Greg?
Yes!
I look up at Ron like, squeak!
Wait, you! I have an advantage here, and I'm not gonna waste it.
Okay, Grog.
Oh, why
Give me the
not?
glasses.
Can I try and take the rat?
Sure.
Let's go hovering over me.
Let's go competing athletics checks. This may not go well for Ron.
That's fine. I'm completely just fucking around anyway. So. Yeah, it does.
Oh yeah.
I just kind of like hold it back. You just kind of jump up and grab it and pull him from like beneath my hands.
Like stealing a ball from your younger brother.
Yep.
You snatch the rat from Ron's hands.
I want to throw the rat towards Strahd.
Whoa!
I just kind of, you just see me kind of shrug and watch with amusement.
Here you go. Tell Strahd, here you go.
Okay. So are you trying to like throw it at him in an aggressive way or just like at his feet?
Just at his feet.
Okay. So yeah, I'm not gonna make you roll for that. You throw the rat, and I guess I'm gonna make a dex save for the rat to see how gracefully he lands, because this could get really funny really quickly.
Greg dies.
I don't think he could die from that. It's not like he's fallen far.
A rat's health. The rats are pretty small.
Yeah, but he would just pop back into Greg.
So Dane launches the rat across the room, and it hits the ground in front of Strahd's feet, but not without a bit of a cracking noise in the process. And you see the tiniest little smear of red on the floor as Gorgoth, the rage rat, is now lying unmoving for just a second on the floor before you see that still shape begin to ripple and bulge, and you watch as the shape of your Goliath friend kind of unfolds out of this rat and is now lying on his back at Strahd's feet.
But he's awake.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's no longer a rat. Problem solved.
I glare at Strahd.
So, yeah, he's like there. All right. Anything else Dane would like to do?
I'll walk forward a little ways.
Okay. Strahd just looks down, says, "Do you have better control of your emotions now?"
We'll see.
There's a little bit of a smirk creeping across his face. But he doesn't take any aggressive action. He doesn't even get up from his chair. Yoan?
I mean, he didn't take an aggressive action, so I'm just gonna stand there, not do anything.
Okay. Ron?
I'm gonna kind of look over to where he threw Greg, and say, "Huh, that was a pretty good shot." Um, and I'll say, "Hey, Strahd, what's up with the old man?" I'm gonna point at him. He doesn't seem to remember anything about anything.
He looks over at his friend and says, "Well, eternal life is one thing, but eternal acuity seems to be something else entirely. The ages spent locked away here have taken their toll." And the old man just kind of looks over, and you see he's about to object, but then he kind of like shrugs, and he's like, "Yeah."
Huh. Alright. That's about all I can do.
Yeah, and well, we'll get to Greg, and then I guess we'll decide if we're still in initiative or not. So, what's Greg doing from his back in front of Strahd?
When you're polymorph, don't like all your stuff meld into your form? Kind
Yeah,
of like a druid? Okay, I guess I'll just use my great axe as like a walking stick to get up, and then I'll just go
Okay.
back over to the group.
Strahd takes an opportunity attack.
I think you do hear like an ever so quiet chuckle under his breath as you walk back across the room. And then he says, "So, any other objections you would like to address?"
No, but I would like to talk to you at some point.
Of course. Is it a private matter, or can it be discussed in front of your friends?
I look around and say, well, I guess I will leave that choice up to you, being that it is an offer of aid from my end to you. In exchange for, you know, a thing or two, but I would like to be as open as possible about this with you.
Well,
And then I will point at him and message and say, this business offer may be a little private for you.
all right. You see his eyes kind of narrow as you whisper that into his mind, and he looks at the rest of the group and says, "Forgive me, but could we have just a moment?"
I say sure and shrug my shoulders and head out to the library.
I'll follow him out.
All right.
I will be the
Yes.
last one out the door, and as I leave, I will fart.
That seems pretty on brand. Okay. And so yeah, what's that there? Grab everybody else and just kind of. Oh, not Ron though. Everybody over there. The old man kind of hesitates before very slowly and deliberately getting up out of his reclining position again and wandering out, walking through the crop dusting. And yeah, the one of the many secret doors closes behind him. And
Did he walk to the library with us, or?
yeah,
Okay. I have questions for the old guy,
okay.
so I don't know what you want to tackle first.
Well, let's get into this Ron and Strahd thing, and then we'll jump back over in a second.
Okay.
So, yeah, Strahd, I think, just looks at you, kind of expectantly, and says, "And what is it that you have to offer?"
Well, what I would like to offer is this. I heard about your history, including the history of that blade. Um, I'm willing to offer my services in finding you a wife. Um, as you probably know, uh, I'm fairly famous back where I come from. And
He seems kind of unfazed by this.
rather than fight you, I would rather help you and possibly have a mutual relationship rather than, you know. I'm a lover, not a fighter. And I can feel that you're not very happy not having somebody around. So, what I would offer is this. That you possibly allow me to, leave. And I will find you whatever women or men or whatever you like and bring them to you. I don't care about the rest of the people in the other room. And then I just kind of look at him kind of blankly.
Alright. He says, "You need not travel far. The soul of my true love still remains in this land. Bring her to me, and enable what was meant to be, and there will be great rewards for you."
Who is it?
She is the daughter of a former burgomaster of the village of Barovia, located at the foot of those mountains on which my keep rests. She goes by the name Irina these days. Irina Kolyana.
Okay. And she is the only one that you would like?
Hers is the soul of my beloved. The one for whom all of this was done. He sort of gestures out, seemingly referring to the entire land of Barovia and the situation in which he finds himself.
Okay. And if I aid you in this, are we? Would I be free to leave?
I think that could be among your rewards, yes.
Okay. Let me look into this matter, and if that does not work out, I can always bring some women back to you.
Any woman is not sufficient. Many have tried to replace my Tatiana. None have succeeded. Such vain attempts only end in suffering.
All right. I will. I will look into doing what I can. And we needn't not be enemy, or needn't be enemies, rather. I'd rather work with you than against you.
Likewise. Is that all?
Yes, I just didn't know if you wanted to have everything spilled out to everybody.
He seems to gaze into the distance for a moment before saying, I think you made a wise decision. And just sort of waves dismissively.
Like waving me off?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll leave.
Alright. In the meantime, as all that's been going on, Yoan has questions for our undead friend. Our other undead friend, I suppose.
I want to ask him if he has anything interesting he can show us on his person.
He, you can see he kind of attempts to squint, but like his eyelids are all dried out, and so it's kind of hard. But he says, "What? A long dead mage, still functioning under the powers of magic, isn't interesting enough?"
I mean, I think it's more common than you think it is.
He kind of turned his nose up at you, like, huh, entitled kids. Let's see. Um, I think he looks at you sort of incredulously and says, "Well, if such powerful magic is so mundane to someone such as yourself, I fear there is not much in this world that would amuse you."
Well, I mean, it's worth trying.
think he just kind of turns around in a huff at being, I don't know, minimized, I suppose, underappreciated. And you hear him just muttering under his breath about children these days.
Okay.
Is there anything else, or were you just trying to maybe secure something for your other friend?
I was trying to secure something, but
Okay.
he's mad at me now, so.
All right. Cool. So there's kind of an uncomfortable silence between your group and the undead mage, who I think he walks over and like grabs one of the books from the shelves, and you see him just kind of like open it up and seemingly like read it. Yeah. And so Ron leaves Strahd's presence, and I think the camera lingers on Strahd for a moment as he pulls the ring out of his pocket that was handed to him by Ron. A very familiar ring, by the way. Yeah, that's a thing that happened. And he just sort of looks down at it. There's a little smile, a little smirk on his face. Cut back to Ron entering the library. A very a very huffy mage, still reading from a titleless book that he pulled off the shelf. And as he sees Ron walk out, he briskly closes the book, slides it back on the shelf, and walks back to his little area.
As I come through, I'm gonna say, "Hey, wait! Can you actually read that?"
Why ask me? It wouldn't be very impressive anyway. He looks back at Yoan.
I made him mad at me.
Alright. Well, if we're gonna be done here, I have some new information that may help everybody.
And what's that?
I kind of look around. Let's not talk about it here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Alright, so if you're not talking about it there, what's the plan?
I look over to Greg and Dane. Could not remember your name. Say, well, you guys have been leading us all over. Where to now?
How much left of this place do we have left to explore?
I don't know.
So, basically, you remember how there was the one hallway off to your right that you explored where you fought the witches and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
You saw what looks like kind of a mirror of that across, on the other side of the lower chamber, as well as a pair of double doors to the south that you haven't yet explored.
I guess let's go for that half of the temple.
Okay.
Alright.
I'll start heading back down the spiral staircase.
Okay. So let me clear out this clusterfuck of combat minis that I still have downstairs.
When do you think we should do the other activity that we need to do?
Which activity is that? Wait, you guys didn't get anything magical from that guy?
No, he got mad at me.
Well, I was hoping you would get that done, Yoan.
I tried. I'm not
Alright.
very good at it.
Well, shoot.
Not sure what you expected.
I don't know. Uh,
Let's get two cranky people together who can bond over nothing.
yeah, let's do that.
Alright, so yeah, you all walk back down the spiral staircase from this pristine library, well, barring the fact that two of the bookshelves have now been scooted across the room. And yeah, you're greeted with the scene of half a dozen busted open crates and 3 amber blocks set into the alcoves in the walls.
I mean, the old guy seems to like you more. Maybe you should talk to him.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, we need to fix him. He's broken.
Why do we need to fix him?
You can just kill him.
No. I don't want to kill the old guy. I like him. We should fix him. Because then we can find out what actually is, what his deal is.
One of these plans sounds a lot easier than the other.
I guess I can go in and try, but is Strahd still in there? Go check.
I don't want to check.
Well, I don't want to check either.
But why do we want to heal him?
Because then maybe he can give us some more information on what is going on.
Or try to kill us.
What is
I
going
mean-
on with what? I feel like it would be easier to steal something with him being the way he is.
Why steal something? Why not just... Nah, okay, whatever. Fine, I'll go in.
Okay.
I'll just turn and leave the group and start heading in.
Yeah, so you let yourself in through the couple of secret doors that have since closed, and yeah, you open the second one. You see the desk has been pushed back to its proper place in front of one of the hidden doors, and surveying the room, I think you see Strahd is nowhere to be seen, and the wrinkled old corpse mage is standing at a table, almost like mindlessly fidgeting with something, and he hears the stone of the hidden door kind of grind open, and he looks over at you and says, "Oh, my visitors! It's been a while."
Oh, yes. I don't know if you remember me. I'm the person here to fix... you had a magical item or something I was here to fix.
Alright, make a deception check.
Alright. I gotta find it.
Woo!
That's not even proficient.
Alright, and you see him kind of like stare off into space for a while. Like he's trying desperately to recall what this item might be. He's like, huh. One moment.
Okay. I have all the time. I get paid hourly.
Okay. Yeah, he like begins walking around the room, kind of looking at just pretty much everything on a surface,
Mm-hmm.
as though he's like, oh, something must be broken. What would I have requested assistance for? Um,
Do I see anything that looks remotely magical that he's actually fucking with?
so some of it yes, some of it definitely not. Uh, let's see if I can get some semblance of an inventory of this room. Um, all right. So let's see highlights of what we've got here. So
Getting some.
lots of candelabras with burned down candles and that sort of thing. Some of them, pretty nice looking. Um, you see, like at the very opposite side of the room, off just a little bit to your left, is a large bronze-covered book. Seems to just be sitting on like a little scrap of cloth. Um, you can see that there's some writing on the spine of it, but difficult to see from here.
Is he
Beyond that,
still looking?
yeah, he's kind of like making his way around the room, just looking at everything on every surface, pretty much.
I'm gonna go look at this book then. Try to
Okay.
stealth. Not really like. I don't want to make it a big deal with me walking over there.
Yeah, you're not like picking it
Nonchalant.
up and eyeing it and all that stuff. You're just kind of taking a little closer peek at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you walk over and as he's still reading through things, you can see, yeah, it's a large, pretty old-looking bronze-covered book. There is even a lock on the front of it that it doesn't seem locked at the moment. Just sort of hangs open. And down the spine, you can now make out the lettering. It says, "The Incants of Exithenter."
Ooh. He's still looking the other way?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna sleight of hand that shit. Putting that in my
Okay.
pocket. Or, hiding it in my jacket.
Okay. Let's see. How perceptive is a senile old lich, I wonder.
Please be not very perceptive.
Um. Okay, so yeah, you reach out and like, so this is a big book. So how are you gonna try and smuggle it out of here? I guess is the
How
question.
big is it?
So think like a phone book, but it's a hardcover, and then it's also essentially covered in bronze.
I'm just going to kind of silently kind of pick it up and kind of hold it behind my back and just kind of walk backwards, I guess, towards the exit.
All right. Uh, so yeah, you do that. Like you kind of you see it on the table. You kind of back up to it maybe, and just slowly kind of drag it to a position that you can maintain. And yeah, like you pull it off, and you're holding it behind your back, and you go to make your way toward the secret door, and he says, "Oh, excuse me.
Yes, yeah.
Believe you have something that belongs to me."
Yes, I was taking it over here into the light. It looked like the latch on this lock was broken. This might have been what I was called for.
Hmm. Well, go ahead and make another deception check, first of
Yeah,
all.
that's fine.
Okay. Uh, All right. He he walks over and kind of squinting at the thing or attempting to. Uh, he then walks over, like runs a hand over the lock, and says, "Don't lie to me, boy.
About what?
Give me the book and leave. Or I shall be forced to take drastic measures."
Um. I'm gonna grab the book and Misty step out. And just fucking run.
All right. So at about that point, from everyone else's perspective, you see Ron materialize back in the library. A large metal-covered book cradled in his arms. And you hear angry yelling from down the secret corridor, like, "Come back! That is my book!"
I'm gonna say, let's go. Go, go, go. Run.
Yes, we get to do my plan.
If only Yoan would have done this, it would have been much easier. Run, 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 run. Go.
How would
Okay.
have this been? How would this have been easier?
For me.
Well, no, duh.
So, I have to ask, what's the plan here? Stand your ground, or are you like hauling ass? And if so, where to?
I'm gonna go hide behind one of the chairs. If everybody's hanging out in this room.
I was gonna run back to the guys, the aboleth. This place is it an aboleth? Whatever the thing is.
Aboleth is the thing that you met
Yeah.
last night. This was a Yugoloth, specifically an Arcanoloth.
Okay, the Arcanoloth. I want to try and find it to give it the book.
Yes.
Okay, so you want to like open the other secret door in this room and like run down the hidden stairway there?
Yeah,
Okay.
but
I'm
with the
gonna-
book. I'm not. No, if Ron has the book, then I'm gonna grab it from him and run down.
Yeah, I'm giving it to Yoan. So
Okay.
it's your problem now.
I'm gonna spider climb over the balcony and hide on the ceiling on the other side.
Ceilings are pretty dangerous, especially by balconies. With Arcanoloth.
I have spider climb now.
I mean, so did
Climb on
Malkar.
ceiling. Yeah, killed most of those flame skulls.
Anyway, so Yoan is running down the secret stairway. Is everyone else just staying in the library?
No, I'm following Yoan.
Okay.
I'm following
Okay.
as well.
All right. So yeah, I think then it's like
close the door behind you.
yeah, it's like a stampede trying to go down this this other secret corridor before your pursuer comes around the corner. I mean, with the lead you've got, I think it just barely happens. Like you hear the frantic, like hobbling through the hallway, and just as the stone kind of grinds shut behind you, you hear him make his way into the library and begin just yelling. Okay. And so you head down to the base of where this statue once was. And yeah, looking up, you can still see kind of the face of it now, just covering the hole that was the kind of hidden spiral staircase leading up it. And yeah, I think just appearing behind you once you've all filed in is this familiar humanoid fur-covered figure, kind of reminiscent of a fox, wearing a gold pair of spectacles and hefting a spell book in one hand. Says, "So were you successful?"
Partly.
I show him the book.
Yeah.
All right. So you like fully hand it over to him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Says, "Oh, oh my, this is powerful magic. Was this the old bag of bones' spellbook, you think?"
Oh, well. I mean, I didn't investigate it. Ron grabbed it.
Uh, whatever it was, he was not happy about me grabbing it.
Well, I wouldn't be happy if someone walked away with my capability to cast such spells as these.
Such as
I
what?
mean,
Is there? Is? Could you possibly teach me one?
he's a bit senile. I'm not sure if he was casting any spells.
Says, some of these magics would be too dangerous for anyone of your kind to learn, I think. Probably best that these are kept out of senile old hands, now that I think about it. Besides, this is the sort of magic that could drive a person mad. The ability to simply speak a word and kill someone.
That would be useful.
Hmm. I don't think it's for you, though.
No, I mean I'm not saying it's useful for me. Just saying it's useful.
Indeed. Think of how few fireballs I'll have to throw now.
Hopefully not at us.
One can hope. He gives you this kind of twisted smile.
Okay.
Well, I suppose you've at least earned safe passage out of the temple. Not that I'll escort you or anything, but I won't attack you for destroying my home, so at least you've got that working in your favor.
What about the old man? He's sure to want his spellbook back.
Just a bit more excitement.
I think the Arcanoloth just says, well, I don't think he should be that much of a challenge now. He can't cast any of these spells. Perhaps he's got some cantrips available, but surely you can handle that for yourselves.
Oh, I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about him coming after you. You are, after all, stuck in here with him.
He chuckles and says, yes, and now I've got the most powerful spells in this whole temple. I think I'll be fine.
Okay. Try not to kill him, though. Strahd has taken a bit of a liking to him.
I care not for this Strahd.
Well, you might not want to let him hear you say that. By the way, am I still under the whatever he did to me?
No, I think it probably would have worn off by now.
Okay.
Does he know he was underneath it?
Doubtful.
Okay. I mean, I'm still gonna say what I said.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So, with that, I think Nepheron, your Arcanoloth friend, says, I think you've done enough. Feel free to stand here in the stairwell for as long as you need. I think I do hear some aggravated yelling going on outside, but when the coast is clear, feel free to take your leave. And he just disappears.
Okay.
In the meantime, I think you hear like clattering of metal and books and wood across the floor outside.
Angry old dude noises.
Yeah.
Should we take our leave?
I mean, do you want to fight the angry old dude? Or just wait for him to, leave?
Well,
I'm sure if we wait long enough, he'll just forget.
yeah. So I fight him when we can, not.
Yeah, so let's just sit here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just
So-
gonna sit down and start reading my book.
All right. So, yeah, probably like 10, 15 minutes pass. Gradually, the noises begin to die down, and seems like eventually all is quiet beyond the secret door.
Well, they're sitting in there. I want to go look at the amber blocks on that first floor.
So, how are you going to do that without heading out and being seen?
Oh, I thought I said I went over the balcony.
Oh, okay. I could have sworn you like followed them after, but cool. Well, no, if you're just hanging out, then
yeah,
then you would have watched the guy like trash the library, like tables flipped, chairs tossed. Yeah, the place is no longer the pristine bastion of learning and civilization that it was when you got here. Um, yeah, so after watching that, and maybe timing your exit in such a way as to not be seen, um, go ahead and make a stealth check, just to see what happens.
That's not gonna go very well.
I'm back.
You have disadvantage, don't you?
Yep.
That sucks.
Were you
Yeah,
stealthing?
Big giant
Yes.
dwarf hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah, Dane is stealthing
Oh.
because he's doing the Spider-Man thing and just hanging on the ceiling while the Lich trashes the library.
Can you hear me over trashing the library?
Well, I'll give him disadvantage, but even with disadvantage, he rolled a 19.
Shoot.
So, yeah, he's in the midst of flipping tables, chucking chairs, and he looks over and sees you about halfway down the wall as you're trying to get to the stairs, and he says, "Who are you?"
Just an explorer exploring this place. Who are you?
An angry old man looking for his spell book. Have you seen, fuck, what did he look like again? Was a young man. Elf or something. Have you seen someone with a big metal book?
I see lots of books laying around here. Are any of these the ones you're looking for?
But this one had writing on it.
These ones don't?
No,
Well, what good are they?
I'm not sure. I think there was a purpose for them at some point, but I can't quite remember.
Oh, well, I haven't seen this book.
Well, fuck. Well, tell me if you do.
Will do.
He like flips one last chair, and you see him then like begin casting a spell to like start putting things away. And he, as you descend below stair level, he just kind of starts muttering under his breath, and you hear like one more clang of something, and he just storms off. And so you're downstairs. All right. So left, right, or bottom?
I'll do left.
Okay. So the one on the left. All right. So you walk over, and you're going to, knowing the drill at this point, just touch it.
Yep.
Okay. So you walk over, and again, you've seen enough of these crazy otherworldly things that you're kind of comfortable with them now. Um, but as soon as you place your hand on it, you you hear this like strange rumbling sound in your mind. It's like your existence is just being rattled at some deep inner part of your being. And then you just hear a faint whisper say into your mind, "So, you come here seeking the ancient power source which brought Count Strahd von Zarovich to where he stands. It is curious that you're interested in acquiring what he has. Trying to fight fire with fire, are you? You must know this gift is not free to take, like so many others in this place. No, there's a price.
What's the price?
Blood. Flowing red and fresh from a recent kill. But not just any blood. It must be the blood of one who loves or reveres you. Slain by your hand. If you drink that blood, the deal is sealed. Or else, your own blood shall suffice, as long as you're slain by hateful enemies. Only then shall you achieve the glory of immortality.
I don't know anybody around here that meets either of those two requirements that strongly.
I think there's just a silence.
Alright, I'll walk away.
Okay.
Where are the rest of us again?
This is while you guys are waiting for destruction in the library to kind of cease.
Hmm.
So at this point, you're probably like, okay, it's quiet. But
Why?
yeah, like there's still like some hesitation about like, okay, it's quiet for now, but maybe he's just reading something or scheming or whatever. So that's one of the three, Dane. So south or east?
I'll go to south.
Okay. So for that one, you walk over and place your hand on it. And there's this deep guttural voice that speaks to you and just says, "You are not worthy."
Okay, I'll just keep moving.
Okay. Walk to the last one. Place your hand on it. And I think as you make contact with this one, your mind's eye seems to be transported from this amber temple deep in the belly of this mountain to a sea of stars. And you're just floating, staring into the blackness of space, punctuated by the occasional little glint of white. And this chorus of voices seems to speak as one, saying, "You're searching for power. I know. Just like many others, you come seeking the power over life and death. I am Zudun, the corpse star. I am the master of death. However, very few know there is a price. Death is a veil which surrounds the soul. If you want to take it away, you must wear it yourself. That's how I ended up here. But I can still share a little of that power with you. Just enough for you to make one very important decision."
I'll have to think about this one. Maybe I'll be back.
Okay, and you recoil your hand from the thing, and there's like this weird vertigo sensation for a moment as it seems like you're just flung back into reality. And at this point, you probably hear the other secret door upstairs sliding open, and the party emerging from the stairs.
I'm assuming, remembering there's these things down there if I don't find Dane up, that he came down here.
Yeah, either that or the lich got him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to walk over to my shield guardian and be talking to it, trying to get
Okay.
it through.
Alright. So yeah, once everybody else is out of the stairway, what's going on?
I mean, I'm assuming we all probably want to touch the statues.
Yeah,
Or the amber blocks.
I definitely do.
Okay.
Instead of the fish guy from SpongeBob yelling chocolate, just yelling amber.
Alright, so I imagine you guys were probably listening as I described the various things going on there.
Yeah.
I want to touch the one that said not worthy, though.
Okay. So you walk over, place your hand on the block, and it says, "You." You are educated in the arts of magic.
Yes.
Nothing else interests me more, and you should feel the same.
I'm always looking to learn new magics.
Indeed. There's not enough time in a single lifetime to unravel all the secrets hiding in the weave. What's that? I can hear your thoughts. Did you know? I can hear your lament. And it just talks over you.
Okay. I still respond because Ron doesn't care. But yeah.
Says, I can hear your lament, that you'll never be able to know and learn everything. You're but a mortal after all, and shall never know all arcane secrets. But there is a way to abandon mortaldom and advance, a way to achieve immortality. A secret way to hide one's soul away from the body and protect it. I can feel your knowledge of magic is very far from achieving this goal. And you're not useful to me. But I do feel potential. I'll give you a secret. An arcane recipe. The rest is all on you, and maybe someday you'll come back and thank me. Just like Exathanter did.
Oh, that's the mage guy, right?
There's no response.
Okay.
I think after a long pause, it just says, do you accept?
Accept a recipe? You know what? Hang on. I'm gonna roll. Where's it? Yep, I accept.
-2 +2?
Oh, why is it -2? That's weird. I don't know.
I think it's your jack of all trades and then your low wisdom naturally.
Oh, yeah, that's probably what it is.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
because I am not proficient in wisdom checks.
Okay.
So,
All right. And so I think flashing through your mind, you see images of, well, a number of things. A few kind of gory scenes, particularly things like different sized finger bones tied together with straps of cord and imbued with a magic ritual that you now just innately know. And somewhere deep in your being, you understand that this is the secret to becoming something very much like your friend upstairs.
so I learned how to become a lich.
Maybe.
Okay.
And, yeah. So that's the thing. And I'm actually going to send you something with regards to
What's that?
this whole deal. You would not be online.
What?
Always appearing offline and shit.
Oh. No, I don't know why it's been doing that. If I leave it online overnight, it does that. Huh, that's pretty much me anyway. Okay.
Yeah. So, all right. What else did other people want to look into?
I want to start at the first one Dane did. And after its spiel, I want to ask it which one Strahd chose.
Which method?
Hmm.
I think it tells you. How would it answer this question? That's it. It's interesting.
That's why I asked.
I think the answer you get is there is a reason why this land is haunted in the way that it is.
Does Yowen understand that? Because I don't. But Yowen is smarter than me.
I think what it's trying to communicate is like, so this place, as you've heard from a number of people now, is kind of Strahd's personal prison,
Mm-hmm.
his little piece of hell, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And
He regrets his choice to kill his love and drink her blood.
I don't think anything is spelled out that clearly. I don't think it's laid out for you, like never explicitly said who Strahd kills or
Mm-hmm.
anything to that effect. But it's strongly suggested that he was pretty active in his conversion to vampirism.
Okay. Okay, if I go to the second one, what does it say to me? Does it say the same spiel or?
Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, you know magical things, so
Okay, what about the third one? I want to know what price, what's the decision or whatever.
all right. It says in taking the veil of death that surrounds one's soul and donning it yourself, you do simply, as that suggests, you don the visage of death itself for the benefit of another.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
All right.
So I go back to the second one, and I ask it if it's just giving me like a recipe. Do I need to use a recipe, or can I choose not to? Depending on future happenings.
I think what it says to you is one in possession of this information would not logically avoid using it.
Okay. I will think on this. Okay, I'm done.
Okay.
My turn.
And what are you doing?
The one where you have to drink people's blood, I want to accept that power. I have an idea.
Okay.
If it offers me the power, that is.
I'm sorry, what was that?
So if it offers me the power, I will accept it.
Yeah, no, it definitely offers you that.
And then
It's,
whatever. Oh, go ahead.
let me just take a look at something here. Okay. Cool. So you accept this gift that demands basically a blood sacrifice of either someone that reveres you or yourself at the hands of hateful enemies.
I know
And
exactly what I'm gonna do with that. I got that goat skin.
you've got a goat skin.
I'll go find one of those people who like will respect me because I slain that creature.
I see. Okay. That makes sense.
Mm.
Also, just another little FYI I'm sending you here, bro.
Oh, okay.
hmm And that's immediately.
I basically live that way in real life, so it's okay.
Oh, that's depressing. Anyway, yeah. So, was there any other business anybody wanted to do while they were in here?
Nope.
All set.
Okay.
What was the other one about the veil of death and stuff?
Yeah. It seems to suggest that you could basically take the veil of death from one being, one time, and essentially wear it yourself.
I accept.
Okay. So, yeah. The Goliath, formerly known as Greg, has been busy in this room. And, yeah, as soon as you have that conversation and accept this gift, the rest of you watch as the hulking, massive form of your Goliath friend begins to kind of shrivel and, if possible, turn even more pale than it once was. And as he turns around from having been facing the amber block, you can see that the lips are kind of pulled back. The still empty eye sockets are even more pronounced, and essentially, he's taken on the outward appearance of a corpse. If you didn't know better, you'd think you were looking at an undead Goliath.
You guys said I had a problem.
I just wave at the group. What are y'all looking at?
I'm picturing like a Goliath Draugr.
Mhm. I search on my person for a mirror, but don't find anything.
There's something on my face.
Yeah.
You're a little saggy. Imagine he looks kind of like Arnold Schwarzenegger now. Just.
Arnold looks like a corpse.
Well, no,
Confirmed.
I'm just saying, like, once a bodybuilder is just now kind of like.
Got
Gravity's
all
taking over.
extras. Did anything else happen to me or anything like that?
Let me double check. I think that about covers it. Yeah, no. Well, okay. So the outward appearance is that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think innately you are very concerned, like Sadie. No. This other thing that I'm going to send you.
Oh!
You died?
Yep. So that's the thing you have. But yeah, so if everybody's done here, you guys pressing on through the temple?
Sure.
Yeah.
More shopping.
Sounds good.
More shopping.
I mean, kinda, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, we'll say it's easy enough to squeeze through the crack in the wall and out of the vault, past the fallen statue, and into the central lower chamber of the temple. And so you now have unexplored paths to your right and straight ahead from the doors that you just emerged from. So to your right is what you gather would be the mirror of the other side hallway, where you fought the witches last, when you explored it. To the south is a set of double doors that don't really give too much away.
I'll start walking to the south.
Okay.
With my
And,
shield guardian.
Cool. And so that's a thing you do. Let me see what sticks out about this area. All right. So you approach the doors. Each of them, like this is kind of a narrow set of double doors. Between the two of them, they occupy about a 5-foot space up against the wall. Much like the other doors you've seen in the temple, they're made of what look like solid chunks of amber. And the distorted image you can see through them seems to show a hallway beyond that forks off to the left and right.
I'll wait to see if anybody else comes over.
I will follow him.
Yeah, I'm staying the fuck away from Greg.
I will follow like 5 feet away from him.
I'm putting everybody else between me and Greg, if I can. I'm not a fan of zombies. And that's what I think he is.
Okay. So we've got Dane. We've got Shield Guardian. We've got Yoen. And then we've kind of got everybody else, at least up to this point, hanging back. What is Gorgoth doing?
Is Dane on the ceiling or is he on the floor?
I'll be on the floor.
Okay, I'll be with Dane then,
Okay.
with my axe drawn.
Cool. And so you approach this set of double doors. It is closed at the moment in front of you. How would you like to proceed?
Barge in and break it down like a SWAT team and clear their room.
I mean, is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
I'm gonna inspire him before he does that.
I'll step out of
Okay.
the way.
Okay. Like, just enough to not get run over as he tries to plow through the doors.
Yep.
I will back up, you know,
I'm just gonna say, you got this, Greg.
10
I'll
more feet.
Tap him on the back for inspiration.
Alright. I think the shield guardian makes way, kind of just hanging with Dane. Alright. And, yeah, so are you going to try to push these open, or are you going to try and just take out the doors?
I guess push.
Okay. So that's going to be a strength check.
Woo. Push.
And are you going to use your inspiration?
What is it? The D8?
I think it's. What is it now?
Yeah.
It's D8.
28.
All right. So, yeah, you back up and kind of stretch, warm up a little bit, and go barreling toward the doors like a living undead battering ram. And as you lower your shoulder and drive yourself into these closed doors, you feel something pop and they swing open, and your momentum kind of carries you a little bit into the hallway beyond. You're able to kind of pull up and roll to a stop before running into the wall that is about 20 feet in.
I'll follow in right behind him.
Okay.
I'm staying way back.
That popping sound wasn't my body, was it?
No, it was not your body.
Okay.
You did not break yourself. Alright.
Was there the light casted on my axe still?
We'll say sure.
It's on my sword on me as well, right?
Well, actually, it can only be on one.
Oh, okay. Well, you can have it.
Okay. So as you barge in and the doors swing open, the smell of long lingering death just floods out. And those of you who do go inside can see stone alcoves along the walls of what is, at least from what you see so far, a forking hallway. One to the left, one to the right. Many of these indentations hold human-shaped amber husks, or piles of bones, or tattered shrouds. Looking a little closer, you can see tall iron candlesticks standing in some of the alcoves. The candles, as soon as Greg stumbles to a standing stop, ignite, casting flickering light upon the walls and causing the few scattered like pieces of shattered amber resulting from barging in to glitter on the floor. So, you have a left and a right path, both of which seem to curve around deeper into whatever this tunnel system is.
Can I try and pick up one of the candles? See what it does?
Sure. Yeah, you walk over, pluck one of the candles up off of the iron candlestick, and it continues burning.
Okay, I'll take it with me.
Okay. Left or right?
Is anything going on from either side?
From this vantage point, they look pretty much identical.
I mean, like, nothing's, like, climbing out of the alcoves to attack us or nothing, is there?
No.
Huh.
Just smells like death.
Take a big whiff, and then I choose the left path and go down there.
Okay.
I cast prestidigitation on my face. Make it smell better.
All right. So yeah, you venture down this path for 20 feet or so before it turns around a corner, and it looks as though the layout here is like essentially once you walk through those double doors, you entered a square, and then off to at least this one side for the time being, you can see another smaller square chamber. And as you look in there, the one notable difference is you don't see any remains or memorial type materials laid out in this room to the left. It's like it was constructed very similarly to the stretch that you just walked through with the alcoves and the candlesticks and everything. But no candles, no bodies, no markers or shrouds of any kind. It just sits bare.
I want to walk around it and see if there's anything there. Just laying on the floor and hidden in any of the alcoves.
Okay. Make a perception check. All right. You don't see anything here except a thick coat of dust.
Okay.
So, assuming you're satisfied with a look at that room, basically the path that you followed around kind of leads back a few feet beyond before curving around and kind of confirming suspicions at this point that the entryway is sort of a square. And as you come back around, you see another room kind of mirroring the one on the other side. This one heavy laden with remains, candles, all of that stuff. And you can see that some of these bodies look to have once been preserved in a sort of like amber casts, as though the entire corpse was dipped in amber and allowed to dry and harden before being laid in whatever sort of grave this is. And most of those amber husks are now smashed with bits and pieces of the dead bodies now exposed. I think that's about all that really sticks out about this chamber.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, you know.
Well, I guess I'll go back out to the main room.
Okay. And so you do that. And now the only unexplored reaches of this temple are off to your left.
What time is it now?
Let's see. It's been a fair bit now. I mean, there was some extended conversation and waiting and life or death scenarios. Yeah,
Not
I
that many
mean,
things happened.
like, let's see, because it was the vampire fight, but then it all kind of led one right into the next. So, I mean, you've probably still got a couple hours before you could, uh, like, force yourself to take like a long rest. But there is always the option to just hunker down early and hope that nothing stumbles across you in the process.
And let me read my book.
Yeah, I'm not feeling very good. I could use a long rest. But we can keep going.
Oh, what's the party think?
We can stop for the night.
Is there an open area, like, with some chairs or anything?
You cut off. Is there an open area like what?
Oh, with some chairs or anything.
You can
There's
go
a
back up to
library.
the trashed library.
Yeah, let's go to the library.
All right.
Where old guy might be looking for us.
Big deal. He can't get in. Fuck him. He probably doesn't even remember us anyway.
Probably not.
So I'll go up there and gather everybody around, and I will ritualistically cast my sphere.
Hut.
Yeah, tiny hut, tiny sphere, whatever. It's a dome.
Okay. And so you do that. And yeah. So I know Yoan's reading. Is there anything else that anybody's?
Before I start reading, I want to ask Ron when was the last time he messaged Irina?
It's been a while. I can't message her today though.
Okay.
I got nothing.
Okay. Then I'll start reading my book.
I can identify something if somebody has anything, but that's about it.
It's been a long day. Dane's going right to bed after almost dying twice
This is fair.
and getting half his health sucked away or whatever.
Yeah, and make sure when you take that long rest, you replenish your maximum HP too.
So I get it all back now?
Yeah.
Or, okay, good.
I'm going to, before going to sleep, I want to toss some more fuzzballs on the ground outside of the hut.
Okay.
All 3 of them.
I'm poking
All
my
right.
head out and watching this.
Right. So, a boar, a giant elk, and
Another boar. Or no, that's Yoan.
the dire wolf.
Oh, pff, okay.
I mean, I have something to roll for too.
Do you though?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I didn't really need to roll for it, but I decided to roll anyways. My frost staff.
Yeah.
However, 1d6 plus 4 when I only need 5 charges. It's not very.
All right. So let's.
A huge-sized creature fit in this room.
Nope.
I mean, not in the hut, but in the room. Yeah.
I want to
grab a boar real quick.
I want to reach my hand out and pet the boar if it walks close enough.
Is that dinner?
I give him the biggest glare. That
Oh,
is Sir Chops to you.
They're gonna disappear in the morning anyways.
I mean, if we ate them, what would happen to our stomachs?
I mean, you can certainly try.
I don't think we can eat them.
It just says the fuzzy thing turns into a creature. It doesn't say it's like some magical thing. I don't
What
know.
happens when they die?
They just disappear in the morning.
What happens if they die? They gotta have HP.
They have the normal stats of the creature.
I mean, but if they die, do they disappear or do they just lay there dead?
I don't know.
guess they disappear. I mean, I'm all game if you guys want to put the DM through this, but...
Yeah, it vanishes at the next dawn, or when it's reduced to 0 hit points.
Oh, okay.
Aw.
So we could not
Literally
eat it.
couldn't finish reading that sentence.
No, I was trying to read something else. Lost my place.
Can I just take a chunk of it off and not reduce it to 0 hit points?
They probably have, like, one.
It's whatever the normal.
No, a direwolf has decent amount.
I'm not gonna attack that one.
Go
I would
take a
like-
bite of it if you want, Dane. We'll watch. For science.
I'm good.
No, no, seriously, do it.
Do it. Do it.
Do it.
I don't think that's gonna work very well. That's awfully mean.
Give it a shot, though.
What do I even do to bite something?
So you're just like literally gonna try and take a bite of a living boar?
Yeah.
It does not sound like a good idea.
I mean, maybe because it isn't.
I'm gonna pour some more beer from my jug into the ivory drinking horn. And drink out of it.
Okay. Cool. Anything else before bedtime?
Can I pluck the gems out of that skull? Put them in my own eye sockets? Since I don't have eyes there.
Maybe. Like,
Poke your
I think-
non-existent eye and it hurts.
Yeah, I mean, let me double check something real quick, but I think that's the thing you could do. Yeah, that's the thing you can do.
Alright. I want to pop the gems out and try and place them how they were in that skull, but into mine.
So the really funny thing is you've still got that glow going on too. So basically, what Gorgoth is doing here is turning his face into a pair of brake lights.
Yes.
Because they're red gems that are now backlit from inside his skull.
I mean, that's pretty terrifying.
Plus, I'm already looking like an undead zombie.
Yeah, an undead with brake lights for eyes.
You have any more of those gems?
I do not. You can have the
Okay.
skull, though.
I thought the gems looked cool. I wanted those. It's fine.
Okay.
That's it. Going to bed.
I am going to read as much as I possibly can, while getting as little sleep as I can while being fully rested.
All right.
So just tell me how much that is. And how much reading I've managed to get done in the list. Yay!
Well, so let's see. As far as what you need for sleep, I think that's like 6 hours.
Yeah.
And if you had to huddle in like 2 hours early just to kind of kill some time, that means essentially with the long rest plus 2 hours, you get 4 hours of reading time out of
Mm-hmm. And did I get any during the day?
it. I mean, let's see. Like not a lot because you kind of just you went in and there was the vault, which actually you were reading for part of the vault.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would probably take like with counting all the coin and stuff. Yeah, you might be able to squeak another call it 2 hours out of that
Cool.
because like there were thousands of coins to count among
Mm-hmm.
other things.
Yeah. I just let them count while I read. So.
But yeah, I mean everything else was even if it wasn't
It was.
pressing to the point of life or death, it was something that kind of demanded a little bit of attention.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and so the night passes mostly uneventfully.
Mostly.
Yeah. Everyone except Ron benefits from a long rest.
Rip.
Ron is racked with nightmares over the course of the night. Flashes of ferocious wild beasts always seeming to find you and jump on you in your sleep. And it is quite difficult for you to stay asleep for any more than half an hour or so at a time. I will say you don't take a point of exhaustion, but you do not get the benefits of a long rest.
Damn.
So, most of you waking up uh, nicely refreshed.
Surprisingly, being as we're in the Ember Temple.
Yeah. What are you guys doing in the morning?
Exploring the unexplored.
Just getting right to it.
I mean, maybe eat some provisions.
Yeah, I mean, I always assume as part of the rest, there's like, wake up, eat food, pack your shit, then you get going. Okay. So, you wake up, do all that stuff, head back downstairs, and venture toward the remaining hall. And so, much like on the other side, you can see that there's about a 20-foot wide, short hall that leads to another one that kind of runs perpendicular to it. Slightly wider, probably about 30 feet. And from your vantage point, walking toward this wider hall, you can pretty much immediately see two doors set into the wall opposite you on your approach. And I think that's all you can really see before you peek around. So, is there a game plan here? Are we going like SWAT style or just barreling in? What's the
I'm
idea?
staying at the back of the pack. I am exhausted.
I am behind Dane or Not Greg. Whichever one second.
Behind Dane or not Greg. Okay. So you said you're behind the second person?
Yeah.
So you're the third person.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also want to ask him why he didn't tell us his real name.
I wanted to make sure if you were friendly or not first.
Okay.
Okay. So I think filing in. Well, actually, I do need to ask Dane or Gorgoth or both. Who's going first?
I'll pick around the corner.
Okay.
I'll go second then.
Okay. So
I'm gonna hang up
Dane.
from the ceiling though.
Cool. Make a perception check. Okay.
Nothing here.
So yeah, Dane just like strolls over on the ceiling, kind of looks left, which is, anyway, yeah, looks left, which is right to everybody, and then right, which is left to everybody. And yeah, you see, I mean, you have to be blind to not notice at least the layout of the hallway. So what I could say is there is a large, heavy-looking amber door that lies open to the north. There is, it looks like another smaller door set into the same wall as the two that you saw on your approach. Yet another smaller door to the south, at the other end of the hall. And what looks like a flight of steps leading upward, just off to the side of this southernmost door. But nothing seems to be running out and trying to kill you.
I'll tell Greg and them it's all clear.
I will cautiously peek around the corner.
Okay. Cautiously, like trying to make a stealth check cautiously?
Like, poke my head out around the corner.
Okay. Perception check?
Come on.
All right. So in addition to all of that, I think you hear like the settling of stone somewhere off to your right, suggesting that maybe there's some kind of movement going on down there.
I'll relay that to the group. And then I want to stealth or attempt to stealth and go that way towards it.
Okay. Make a stealth check. Sneaky Gorgoth is sneaky. So, how close you want to get?
I'm gonna keep going until I see it.
Okay. So you venture down the hallway, kind of keeping pressed up against the wall that doesn't have any doors set into it, and stopping, listening, proceeding. You venture toward this large open door at the northern end of the hall. And you continue approaching as you're pretty sure now that you are definitely hearing consistent movement up ahead beyond this door. And you hear kind of whispered, some sort of harsh guttural language spoken in two maybe 3 different voices. And you want to keep pressing on until you can see the source of this, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
gonna follow above him as well.
All right. Dane, make a stealth check.
I will peek down the hall after him, but stealthily,
Okay.
so that if they see him, maybe they won't see me watching him. Oh, that's a whisper. Can you
Sneaky,
unwhisper them
sneaky.
to you?
Maybe.
Okay. I rolled a 10.
You're all so sneaky today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not normally very sneaky.
Okay. Never whisper rolls. Cool. And so, Greg, you ease your way up to take a peek through the visible, like open wedge of this room through the open door. And as you begin to sort of peek around, a large green eye seems to pop out from behind the door, seemingly knowing that you were approaching somehow, despite your stealthy maneuvers.
Is it startled in the slightest bit about my visage?
I think it pops out and looks at you and like basically stares you down with this big green eye, and it just kind of like cocks its head and proceeds to speak this weird guttural language that you don't understand. Almost like it's like hawking up loogies as it's trying to say something.
I will just try and speak slowly to it, like, "Hi, my name is Gorgoth."
All right. Again, it cocks its head, and seeing that you're not immediately attacking, kind of like fully walks out from behind the door, and you can see 3 more of these creatures peering out at you from behind a couple of amber blocks sitting in this room. And as this one is kind of just observing you, let's see.
How large are they?
Not huge, and like to paint a picture of what you're looking at, besides the massive eye, you see like fang type teeth, scaly flesh with spines protruding out the back, clawed, like 4-fingered hands, and reptilian 3-clawed feet.
Aw, they're cute.
Can I tell what they are?
Make either a history or arcana check.
Can I as well? Oh, never mind.
I mean, I might not tell you.
Yeah. So yeah, Yoan, you pretty much immediately recognize these things, even from a little further back than the others. These are Nothics, and basically, what you would know about a Nothic, especially having made this check with Arcana, is this is often an unwanted result of, well, say really ambitious mages who try to find immortality and other excessively powerful arcane secrets.
Like they become these things.
Yeah.
What?
Are these things dangerous or?
I mean, they're dangerous in the sense of they have claws and um, they often maintain the brutally pragmatic nature that got them to the point they were at as whatever they lived their previous lives as. But they're not mindless, bloodthirsty beasts.
Okay. Like, how does this happen to them?
Basically, they dabble in things that aren't meant to be dabbled in, and oftentimes not knowing what they get themselves into, stumble into uh, curses. Um, they make enemies that they'd rather not make.
Things like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically just jumping in the magical deep end. And
Not knowing how to swim.
yeah,
Okay. Well, I say, well, I'm still trying to be sneaky, so I store that knowledge away.
I
Okay.
will slowly reach my hand down to shake its hand.
kind of squints its big green eye at you and slowly holds out this four-fingered claw of a hand that it has.
I gently shake his hand.
Okay. It kind of nods at you and like skitters back around behind one of these amber blocks in the room.
This is Trogdor and the little dragon wings again.
Kobolds?
Yeah, I couldn't remember what they're called, but yeah.
If there's people like hiding behind the thing away from me, I'll whisper to them. It's like, these are whatever you called them. They're like they're, mages who dabbled in magics that were too strong for them. They got turned into these things.
That means there must be some strong magic around here.
I just, I, the look of utter defeat on Eowyn's face at Ron's statement.
Hey, Gorgoth, go ahead and make a deception check.
What?
What?
Okay.
Okay. Well, one of the things just seems to be like kind of looking at you, and it's kind of got this inquisitive look on its face. Carry on.
I'll turn to Greg and say, should we kill him?
They seem friendly enough. You can leave them be.
Okay.
Hey, Dane, make a deception check. Okay. You watch as one of the creatures begins to say something in this weird language. By the way, does anybody here speak Undercommon?
No.
Mm-mm.
Yes, I do.
No.
Noisy.
I speak common, undercommon, and draconic.
Okay. So yeah, from like around the corner, you can hear this strangely familiar language being spoken by very much unfamiliar creatures. And
Well, I whispered to Ron what they were.
well, yeah, but still, like not. It's not a timbre of voice that he would recognize. Is what I was going for there.
Okay.
If this thing's trying to charm me or hurt me or anything, but
Well,
psychically I can't do that. Except that my
Okay.
blank spell.
Okay. So yeah, it mutters something to its friends and says, and I think Ron could probably hear this from where he is. It says to its companions, "This one is blank."
Oh,
Uh,
it'd probably say the same thing about me then, because I have that as well.
yeah, that's true. I mean, either way, it failed its check, so that all kind of worked out. But yeah, so those are things.
Can I try to? Is it prestidigitation that allows you to make sound?
Yeah.
Can I use prestidigitation in combination with the fact that I know Undercommon to make a voice that sounds like theirs that says, "We should give them the magical object"?
The magical object.
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and make a performance check for starters. Fucking 30. Alright. And then those of you who are like, closer see them like looking around at each other like, "Who said that? The fuck?" And then one of them says, "What magical object?" And I think another one chimes in like, "Wait, you been holding out on us? What magical object?" And they all start like bickering amongst themselves.
Yes! You just hear Ron kind of start silently chuckling.
And like it doesn't devolve into like physical violence, but it's more like four creatures just standing around like cussing each other out in Undercommon.
Yep.
I just like imagine a bunch of Q-birds just.
Yep. I've done my good deed for the day.
And like one of them just kind of comes walking, like bipedal, out of the room, just kind of briskly, like it's just pissed off, and it kind of like brushes past everybody in the hallway, and
It just pushes past us.
yeah.
They were fucking afraid of us a minute ago. As it brushes by, can I cast, or as it's walking towards us, can I cast Identify? And then as it brushes by, can I touch it?
I think you need to touch it for the entire like casting of the spell.
Let me check. Oh, yeah, maybe. Okay. Never mind.
Ron just not believing me.
Believing you about what?
I told you what it was.
I just wanted to see what was affecting it, though.
You.
Well, yeah. But I affect a lot of people.
I pull out my alchemy jug and say beer. Start drinking out of it.
Well, I go down to the hallway and say, well, should we move on?
Sure.
There's amber things in there if you want to go touch them.
Yeah, let's go touch those.
Okay.
They might have some magical secrets.
Yeah, so everybody's just piling in this room with the 3 remaining Nothics.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'll stay outside the room for now.
As you walk in, you notice that the 3 of them that remain in the room, separate corners, just kind of stink eye in the other 2.
As I walk in an undercommon, I'm just gonna say, don't mind us. We're just gonna touch these amber pieces here. I'm
I
not
think
gonna say it
they'll
in that voice. I'm gonna just say it in my
yeah.
own voice.
Okay. Oh wait, you're not gonna say it in that voice. What do you mean by?
Because I was using, that's why I was asking
Oh
if I
yeah,
could
I
use
gotcha. I gotcha. You're
prestidigitation
not.
to change my voice.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm gonna say it in my voice. Just say, "Oh, hey, don't mind us."
Gotcha. Okay. Um, yeah, they like look over at you and kind of seem to be confused that somebody else speaks Undercommon, but they just look around and they make eye contact with each other and kind of shrug, and then remember that they're like mad at each other and immediately just like.
By the way, did you hear that third guy muttering about some magical object he had to hide?
That third guy.
Yeah.
There were 4 of them, and there's 3 in the room.
Oh, fourth guy then. Sorry. I thought there were 3. Fourth
Yeah,
guy.
one of them looks at the other two and says, "I fucking knew it."
Are they not mad at each other anymore? Do they all leave to go after the 4th one?
And I think one of the other two just says, "Oh, just you wait till he comes back."
Alright,
But
I'm just gonna start looking.
okay.
Touching
So
other objects.
yeah, so in this room, there are 3 alcoves, and there are only 2 amber blocks. What looks like the remains of the third one lie in the spot that previously seemed to have occupied.
I know it doesn't really matter anymore, but is this the spot Nalgar had a vision of?
Maybe. So basically, you've got one on the left and one on the right.
I'll go left.
Okay.
I'll wait until last to touch them.
I will
Alright.
stand in line.
Okay. Yeah, so for lighting, are you guys just depending on the light spell?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, yeah, Ron, you walk up, place your hand on the block on the left. And I think it's pretty quick and pretty abrupt. It says, "Ah, good, you've surpassed the need for torches. Well, perhaps we share some common interests. Now, how does the power to freeze your enemies? It's yours if you want it."
What do I have to give in return?
Well, we clearly have some commonalities, so I don't think it would be of much concern to you at all.
You're gonna give me the ability to cast some sort of freezing spells?
Indeed.
Sign me up.
All right. So, let me just copy all this stuff. There you go.
Let's see. Yeah. Okay. I'm cool with that. Sure.
You said you were cool with it.
Yeah. Alright, and then I'll have to add that.
Yep. Um,
What happens when I touch that one? What does it say?
when you touch the one that he just touched,
Yeah.
uh, basically the same thing.
Okay, because I already have that ability, so be like, well, I don't need you to give me that. Okay.
It says, fine, suit yourself. Yeah. What's next?
I'll touch it as well.
All right. And yeah, I mean, same deal. Like it seems happy that you're not waving a torch around in front of it, and offers you the power to freeze your enemies.
So does it let me use magic?
Maybe.
Will it allow him to use this that cold staff?
I don't know. Will it?
I don't know.
Mm,
I don't think so.
maybe not. I like being warm.
All right.
My
So it's,
turn.
huh?
I said my turn.
Okay. Same deal. Power to freeze your enemies.
I questioningly say, I didn't ever understand how people freeze to death. Me being a man of the mountains and all.
The voice just says, "Well, others aren't so lucky."
Hmm. Alright. I'll take it.
Okay.
You convinced me. What?
What?
Oh boy.
All right. So who's first on the other one?
I guess I'll walk over and touch it.
Okay. You walk over, place your hand on it, and like a few other blocks that you've seen in the temple, this one is kind of a low whisper. It says, "I am the Star of Secrets. No information shall be hidden from me, or from you if you accept this gift. Do you crave to know all which lies beyond your mortal perspectives? It's all here."
Are you teaching me a new spell or some new magic?
This is comparable to your mortal magics, yes.
And what do you want in return?
Those who know, it is apparent in their mannerisms. Difficult to contain the happiness of being able to glean whatever information you need.
Oh wait, I'll take my hand off, and I'm gonna wait and just stand and watch for the next person to touch. I'm gonna wait and
Okay.
see what happens to them first.
All right. So, anybody else interested?
As always.
Okay. Yeah, you're offered to learn things that lie beyond your mortal perspectives.
Well, I have a bunch of powers involving death and whatnot. What's another one? Gonna hurt.
So that's a yes.
Yeah. Uh,
What happens?
yes.
Do we see a difference in him?
Well, I guess that depends. Is Gorgoth? I mean, what's he doing when he is done doing the deed?
Um, after I take my hand off, I will turn around, and you will see a very cruel and evil looking smile on my face.
I like the
There you
look.
go.
Are you just always smiling now?
I think.
I mean, you don't always have to smile, but when you do, it looks a certain way.
Okay. I guess
Okay.
my face will relax and go back to corpse-like.
All right. Anybody else?
I'm fine without this one.
Doesn't even need to check on it. He just like sees his Goliath buddy walk away with a creepy evil smile. Like, nope.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold off on it too.
Okay. Yoan?
I am contemplating.
I just chime in saying, in a very low whisper, uh, this guy gives a pretty useful spell.
What do you know now? Is it a one-use spell?
I can use it multiple times.
Per day or just before it's done?
Uh, 3 times.
Hmm.
Jeez.
I'll pass. No, I will take it.
Oh. Okay.
I have tusks. How much sinister can my smile look?
I think the other effect is probably more interesting, to be honest.
I'll get there.
Do you even know that Greg's talking now? How loud he usually is?
Yeah, it's kind of creepy. Like he's got that weird smile on his face, and he's just like, "Yes, I can cast the spell 3 times."
What spell?
The scrying spell.
The scrying spell.
Do you have to talk like that?
Yeah.
Ow.
Wait, what did you say?
Ow.
No. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So those are the 2 blocks that are present in this room. Any last minute takers?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay. I think that's where we'll cut it for tonight.